Hi, this is SamanthaBessudoDrucker, and today I have the great pleasure of interviewing Ms. Latasha Brooks, who is a motivational speaker. Hi, Latasha. Thank you for coming on and speaking with me this afternoon. You are a motivational speaker, an inspiration. Um, we're talking about women and women empowerment today. And you are a business coach. You talk about how women can level up their small businesses, how they can pivot in the pandemic, and what government programs can help women be in business for themselves, which I think is amazing. And you also offer private coaching. You coach women on how to do these things for themselves. Thank you so much, Ms. Latasha Brooks, for being with me today to talk about women in business.
I am honored to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
Tell me a little bit about you, how you got started. When did you know that you wanted to be a business maven?
I didn't. I did not choose this life. So I have some older siblings and two older sisters, and they're all about business. One of my sisters is a judge, or she's running for judge. She's a state attorney right now. And then my other sister is a nurse. So they've been a part of entrepreneur and this business life for a very long time. And so when I was younger, my oldest sister came to me and she's like, I need you. I need you to help me with this event. I was in the 6th grade at the time. I knew nothing about business. I just knew that my big sister needed me. And so there's an age difference. So having your big sister needing you and wanting you, I knew I get to hang out with grown adults. And so I was like, sure, I will help you. And at the young age of 6th grade, I started in business then, and it has been nonstop since.
I have a question. So when you said you would help your older sister, how do you mean? You mean would you file files and sharpen pencils? What are we talking about? You were only in 6th grade. What
So
exactly were you, how were you helping at age 12, your older sister?
So my sisters have always been involved in community stuff, school projects. They're presidents of the school. They went to the #1 school in the country. Like it has always been them doing something, organizing something, putting on a production show, putting on something at corporate America. So they were always planning things.
So
So
what were you doing for them?
So when she needed me for this particular, when I got started, I was actually supposed to be auditioning for the #1 performing arts school in Jacksonville, Florida, me and my best friend. And the same day of the audition was the day of her event. And she's like, I need you to choreograph this routine. I need you to teach them. I need you to put this production together so we can put on this show. I was the youngest person ever to do this at such a young age with all of these all-stars. And I either had to choose the performing arts audition or helping out my sister. Well, in my mind, I said, I can audition for them anytime. My sister event would only be a one-time event. This was like her biggest event that she had. And so I chose my sister. And it's crazy because in my mind, I said, oh, I can audition anytime. I never auditioned again, never. But then I got this life. And so I'll pick this again.
So your your current life is pretty extraordinary. I mean, you have appeared on some major networks. I mean, Fox and CBS and Getty Images and CBS, and I mean, you've been really making the rounds. And I know that you have your three top pointers that you wanted to discuss today. Let's start with women scaling their small businesses with the federal government. And can you break this down for us? Because yes, we often hear that the government has this program or that program, but to actually go through the hoops of paperwork that it is required to get to the money at the end of the paper trail, how break it down for us. How is it possible? What is possible? And how does one go about it? This is the first pointer that you wanted to share with us today.
So working with the government is probably be the best decision you ever made. They are the number one customer in the world. They produce the money. There's billions of dollars available to small business owners by law every single year. And so when a company is tired of, like I say, fishing with the little boys in the pond, they can come over and fish in the ocean with the big boys, us government contractors. And when you are fishing in the ocean, you have many, many, many more opportunities. You have solid revenue because working with the government is contract after contract after contract. There is no limit. And you do the things that you normally do every day. So the government will pay you to do what you normally do every single day. For example, me, I train and I facilitate. The government pays me to train and facilitate other people. And so it's not like I'm just doing something crazy that I don't want to do. Although to work with the government, you do not need experience, you do not need a degree, and you don't need a certification. Now, if you have a degree like me and certifications like me, then you go to the top of the list and you have many more opportunities, but none of that is required to contract with the federal government.
So where would people look? Can you put it in the chat for us? Where do people look?
So it depends on what route you want to take with the government. There's local, there's state, and then there's federal. Well, of course,
you just go on Google and you Google what?
So if you want to work with your state, right? You're going to go to Google and you're going to put in Florida state contracts. Well, guess what? The whole state of Florida contracts will be right there. Georgia state contracts, Virginia state contracts. That's when you want to work directly with your state, getting government contracts and contracting with them.
So you just Google your state government contracts.
State contracts.
Sorry, state contracts.
Yep. So your state and then state contracts.
And it will come up. So I Google Florida and then state contracts.
Yes, but always be prepared that you're going to get some ads first. Skip the ads. You are looking for the government site. So for Florida is dms.florida.government. So always skip the ads.
BMS or because I just heard BMS.
No. D for Delta, DMS.
Okay.
.florida.gov or something like that. I'm from Florida, but I'm not in Florida right now. I'm in Virginia.
Okay, I'm actually coming to you from Florida today. Oh. I'm half the time in New York. I'm on Hollywood.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So that is fascinating. So I'm always fascinated because we often hear, but it's like an urban legend that there are, government programs that people can take advantage of. But, how does one get to them? So thank you for breaking it down for us today. I really appreciate it. Sometimes people need to be informed of the itty bitty baby steps. Most importantly, the first step.
Yes.
My next question for you. So we're talking about women empowerment and women equality in business and women entrepreneurs. And I want to know how you go about helping women be the entrepreneurs they wish to be.
So it's all about a mindset. A lot of us, we feel like we lack something, whether it's the knowledge, whether it's the connections, whether it is the skill set. And so connecting yourself with like-minded people who will be that example for you is what a lot of entrepreneurs need. And so that's what I provide to my community.
So I have a question because, in some ways I feel like the decades go by and we're still having the same conversations, right? Like first we had to fight to vote. Yep. and fight to, get an education. And then we had to fight to drive and then we had to fight to vote. And then we had to fight to get degrees from higher learning institutions.
Yep.
And then, wars happened in between that allowed us to, as women, to go to work. And then the 50s came and the government wanted us back in the kitchen. That's too late once you open Pandora's box, right? Once the people are liberated, that's what we want. We want our freedom. That's all people should have, women included, because women are people too. All of us, in every color of the rainbow, women, I feel, and so I know that you can break it down further for us. We're still having the same conversations. Okay. My mother was a career woman of the 70s and the 80s, and she broke through some glass ceilings in her area of expertise. But I feel like, it's now 2022 and we're still talking about the same pay for the same work. And this is why I like working for myself, because I just don't, I don't want to negotiate about craziness.
Right.
So maybe you can break it down about why are we still having these same conversations all these decades later, and what you are doing to change the future.
So, I mean, this is going to be a battle that we're going to be fighting forever. It has not changed. I just had a meeting with the government last week, and I'm like, we got to change these laws. These laws that you guys had in place from 1660 does not apply in 2022. And so there is equality issues. There is issues with women. There is discrimination. There is issues, period. And unfortunately, it's not something that's going to change overnight. I mean, look at the decades we've been dealing with it. And it's not something that I see changing anytime soon. We just got to continue fighting. We just keep fighting the battle.
That's right. There's nothing we can do but continue to fight.
Yep.
And continuing that fight, we have a lot to fight right now, right? Because women are currently, as we speak, shaping the future of business, in how women are approaching business, how we are pivoting our businesses in a pandemic world, and how this has affected many women-owned businesses, the pandemic. And we still have to juggle a third thing, which I don't think gets a full dialogue most of the time, is that we are still the primary caregiver. Women are still the primary caregiver. So we are dealing with our work, our profession, our household, COVID-19, and whatever else is happening in our environment. And then there are children. And grandchildren, and whoever we are taking care of. So women really have this third part of our lives. So yes, we have our work, our children, our reproductive life, and then of course there are things like pandemics and wars that get thrown into the mix, and that is like running in heels backwards, right? That's what women always have to do. So maybe you can shed some light on that, talk about that for us.
So we as women, we wear many hats. I just had a baby 30 days ago.
Mazel tov, congratulations.
30 days ago, C-section too. And so it never stops for us. I am mom, I'm wife, I'm daughter, I'm sister, I am business coach, mentor, I am friend. I constantly have something going on. It never stops for women. And, my husband's about to retire from the military, and he's so excited to be a stay-at-home dad. And I'm so excited as well, because during the time up until having the baby and even recovery after the baby, he made a comment and he said, I know how it feels to be you. And I had to laugh. And I said, you know how it feels to be part of me. You'll never know how it feels to fully be me. Because he was only juggling like two. Think about if he really juggled all 10, and then another 10 get added and another 10. He thought doing 2 was him being me. No, sir, you got a piece of the pie. You still don't have the whole pie yet. But it was fascinating to see him kind of like at the end of the night, wind down, because he gets to just go to bed. But tomorrow you got to start it all over again. And so he gets the kids ready for school. He's making breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's feeding us. He's taking care of his wife. We got COVID in the midst of this. So he's taking care of the sick family. Entire family is sick, pregnant wife. And he got to see what it felt like to be part of me. And he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it.
I think you hit on something really important. In this pandemic world, we all spent a lot of time at home together.
Yes.
And yes, things have opened up now, for the most part, but, there's still some constrictions, and there are still whole industries that have shifted to the point of we're never going back to the way things were, like in the entertainment business, the way we do production now, the way we audition now is completely different. Everybody has learned to be their own camera crew. Everyone has learned to be their own makeup artist, their own hairdresser, their own stylist. From in my work, we do everything ourselves. I think that family units that have now spent all of this time at home together, I think that yes, men have seen, because they had no choice but to see us more, how we go through a day, how we do. And I think that maybe, if this hasn't brought us closer together as men and women, seeing how much we need each other, then I don't know what will. I think that this either made us or broke us.
Yep, I agree.
And so I want to know, because business is stressful, business never stops, business is a lot of work. You have to love what you do.
Yep.
What is your favorite part of what you do?
Outside of helping people, because that is by far my favorite part, seeing other people win, is having control over my life, having the freedom. And to me, freedom is all about time freedom. I'm available to show up for my kids when they need me. I'm available to show up for my husband. I'm available to show up for myself. And so having that time freedom is by far the thing that keeps me going every single day, every day.
That's powerful. That's really a powerful golden nugget. If that's not motivation for any woman who is an entrepreneur, I don't know what else is. Is there, before we go, I want to know if there's anything that else you would like to share with us, something about you, something that nobody's ever asked you and you wish they would ask, or your top tip. Just share with us one little parting golden nugget that you've never shared before.
So I like to leave people with the thought of not taking on entrepreneurship by themselves. It is very stressful. It is, it's something that we dream of at being successful at, but it takes a lot of work. And so I like to tell people, don't try to take this battle on by yourself. Surround yourself with like-minded people. It's going to keep you motivated, going to keep you going, going to push you, people that are proud of you and people that want to see you at the top. And this helps entrepreneurship be so much more easier, because you hear people say all the time, it's lonely at the top. It's not really. It all depends on who you got at the top with you. And so that's my nugget. Don't do it by yourself. Don't be out there drowning by yourself. All of us is going through the same thing. All of us small businesses are struggling at the same time, trying to figure out, trying to make it work, trying to stay positive. And why not help each other in this time of need? So entrepreneurship is not lonely. It's only lonely if you make it lonely.
Oh, Miss Latasha Brooks, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to have a little chat with me today. And thank you so much on behalf of women in business, women entrepreneurs, and our future as women players in the business world. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a beautiful day. Thank you. I'm SamanthaBessudoDrucker, and I have had the great pleasure of chatting with Ms. Latasha Brooks, business entrepreneur and coach extraordinaire. Thank you so much for being so inspiring and sharing your tips and insights with me today. Thank you so much. I'm wishing you all out there great success in your business endeavors. Wishing you much love, light, and inspiration. Ciao for now.